Stop feeding the monsters that are hidden in your social circle. These spiritual energy vampires thrive on your emotional reactions, but there's one weapon that you wield that they cannot defeat, and that is your absolute silence. Silence. So silence is more than just not using your words and not talking. It's your emotional currency. See, think of energy as money. If you are giving all of your money away, or your money is being taken or stolen from you, you don't have any left. And this is how it works with energy, with these vampires, these demons that are surrounding you, is they siphon your energy from you. They take your energy for themselves, and they leave you completely and utterly depleted. And so the likelihood that you know what I'm talking about is high if you're a viewer to this channel, because you're probably on the spiritual path and you carry a higher vibration and you're the light in the world. And you know, these demons are coming for you, and they probably have been coming for you for a good part of your life. And the problem for a lot of people is you have these demons and these energy vampires, and they're still around you, and you're maybe not sure what to do. How do I protect myself? Or you've already defeated some of these people, but they're still sort of in the periphery of your life, right? Or you aren't aware that these things are happening to you. And maybe this video is going to be the wake-up call for you to realize, oh my God, so-and-so is doing, this, that, and the other thing to me, and I'm feeling depleted and drained when I'm in their presence. So this is a difficult subject, but I can speak to it not only firsthand, because I have been facing these types of energies my whole life, but I'm also a social worker, and I've also got extensive professional training in this. So I feel like this is a subject that I have a grasp on. So what do you do? Well, think of the energy like it's currency, right? You want to hold on to your money. You want to protect your money. You don't want anybody just getting access to your ATM card or getting the combination to your safe and just taking, your money whenever they want. And that's what these folks are trying to do, because you're the light, and they feed off of your emotional reaction. So what do? They are provocative. They put you in lose-lose scenarios. They're trying to get a reaction out of you. And if these people are in your life right now, they're getting a reaction out of you, and you're feeding them. You're feeding them. So what do? You do nothing. You say nothing. You refuse. First of all, excuse me, you recognize what's going on. And when you see it, it's like an epiphany, like, oh my God, this is happening. And then you start to take the steps to protect yourself. And you don't protect yourself by reacting, responding, defending yourself, because it's what they want. They're getting you essentially in a lower vibrational state, which is where they are, and that's what they want. That's the whole point. Bring you down to their level, and then the dark wins. in order to stay in a higher vibration, you cannot drop to their level because they win. And you're getting your energy siphoned, and you're getting your energetic currency stolen. So what you do is you do nothing, and you say nothing. You don't respond to them anymore. You have this face, this blank face. It's called grayrocking. When they're saying whatever they're saying to you, you don't give them any expression, no micro expressions, none of the, or no expressions at all to anything they say. You do not react at all. Now, inside, you're like, you gotta be kidding me. I can't believe you're saying this. But after a while, even that internal dialogue will go away as you start to get better and master this skill, because it is a skill. This is not easy. This is a skill because these people are so freaking hateful and they're so demonic that you want to like lash out at them, right? You don't do that. You just do nothing. And that's it. And what will happen is you'll get better and better at this. And this is unfortunately the way you have to respond when they're like still in your life and you haven't been able to remove them yet. Because let's be honest, the best thing you can do is remove these people completely. They're never changing. They're not going to change. I hate to break it to you. They're not going to change. The only real solution ultimately is you get them completely removed from your life. But there's a process, there's a grieving process, to be honest, that you go through to be able to even get to a point where you can do that, unless you're like, you know, like me, where I have like the strongest cutoff game in the history of the world, where, you know, you do me wrong and it's like, see you later. Like, I am completely emotionally detached from you. Goodbye. That is one of my gifts, okay? That is not the average person. So it's a process to ultimately get to that point. But when they're in your life and you have to face them, the way you do it is you do not give them any emotional reaction, because you'll leave. And what you don't realize necessarily is how frustrated you just made them. You changed it up on them. You used to give them what they wanted, and now you don't, and they don't know what to do with it. They literally have temper tantrums about this stuff. And then they start to scheme about how do they up the ante and what do they got to do to get what they need from you. You see, you have been their energetic supply for whatever amount of time. You've been their currency. You're the ATM. They just stick the card in, right? Hit their pin, and here comes the money. But all of a sudden, you know, they start to put the ATM card into the machine, and they hit the pin, and it's rejecting the pin now. Well, you're going to be really, really freaking pissed off if your ATM card isn't feeding you money anymore, right? Well, that's what's happening. And these people lose it. So they'll up the ante. In fact, as you get better and better and better at this, it's like when you watch a movie and you see where the bad guy is finally defeated and he's laying there and he's dead and he hasn't moved for minutes, and you know the hero and the heroine embrace, and the next thing you know, is here comes the villain again. He gets up from the dead and he has this last rush of adrenaline, and then they have their final battle and they, finally defeats the demon, right? Finally defeats the villain. And you're like, man, how the heck did that guy even get up, right? Well, because it's like that last burst of adrenaline that, makes the villain get up to try to fight the hero again. Well, these people are these energetic vampires are going to do the same exact thing. They're going to find everything they've got at the very end. It's like their last ditch effort. They're going to rally as many of the troops as they can. They'll slander you and they'll attack you and they'll do whatever they got to do to try to get you to react. Don't react. Don't give them what they want. That's what they want. But if you're consciously aware of the whole process and how this whole thing works, and you can just stay here with this face, they can't touch you. So what happens to the energy now that they're sending out to you, that negativity that's just sending out to you, that you're just like, I don't think so. You're literally a mirror now. And what happens is it reflects right back off of you, right back to them. And what happens is now they're stuck with all of their own negativity. And so what do they got to do? What do they do with it? They have nothing they can do with it, except they have to go look at internally now. They have to look at themselves now. And ultimately, you literally actually help these people on some level by literally just not doing anything except being a mirror, let them reflect their energy right back to them. Here's my spiritual force field that I'm putting up. And then what will happen is over time, you'll actually get better at, it's one thing to what you show on the outside, but internally you're saying all the things to them that you want to say, right? You're reacting to them, you may be in the car and you're thinking about it and you're like, I should have said this. I should have said that to them. Oh man, I'd love to do this to them. And I can't believe they did this to me and all of that, right? And then what'll happen is you'll realize now that you're still communicating with them energetically. It's energy. You're still giving it to them. I don't care what you think. You're still giving them what they want. You're still providing some degree of supply. It might not be on a conscious level, right? As the person might not consciously realize you're doing this, but on a spiritual level, yeah, they're still being fed. Don't feed them. So realizing it, then what happens is you can stop the chatter, stop the internal defenses, the internal reactions. Don't give them what they want at all. In fact, what you do is you just forget them, ignore them out of your life completely. Like, who cares? Who cares? They've done you so dirty. It's like, why would you even want to give them any of your energy? You're moving on. They're here. You're here. Vibrationally speaking. It doesn't mean you're better than them or anything. It just means vibrationally speaking, why do you care? You don't. They're not even in your existence anymore, okay? And you just let it go. And that's the sort of the mastery for how you actually defeat these spiritual energy vampires, these monsters in your social circles. The ones that you already are aware of, but then the ones that you maybe didn't even realize until just now, the ones that you spend time with, you work with, even friends that you're like, how come I never feel good when I'm around these people? Why do I always feel worse? I feel tired, I'm depleted, I'm drained. It's because they're siphoning from you, So anyway, that's it. That's what I got for you today. If you like my videos, please hit the like button. If you feel compelled in any way to drop a comment, I would love that. Share the video with anybody that you might feel like could benefit from it. If you even stayed this long, I really appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel. All those things are going to help my message get out to more people because I am not going away. I'll catch you next time.